So hello and welcome to yet another game of the Dats Premier League Division A. This is JNS Supremos versus the OIS Tigers, and we bring the game to you live from the Fatima grounds. And the feed team is as follows: Satish behind the camera, scorer Harsh, operator Fayaz, and myself Pranav. And this is what happened at the toss. OIS Tigers won the toss and chose to bowl. 20 over side, 6 over power play, and we have a side change in the 10 over mark in both the innings. So Manan and Jairaj open the batting while Nishant opens the bowling. Right, here we go then. First ball goes for the big shot but doesn't find the gap through mid on. You take a look at the field. Um, you have deep point and long off in place. There is a man at fine leg at 45, and the third man's pretty wide inside the 30-yard circle. That'll be a wide. So first runs on the board. He's batting inside his crease here. Manan. Shot of length and wants a single, but it's sent back. Very interesting field in place. Deep point and long off. Man at mid on is a little more wider. Goes for the hike and finds the gap for four. That's sweetly timed through mid wicket. Take another look at that full length ball on middle stump and just pick through mid wicket for four. The first boundary of the game from the bat of Manan. Goes for the aerial shot, just over mid off for four. Back to back boundaries for Manan and the Supremos. Again, full length ball over pitched on off stump and just over mid off. Finds the boundary. Ooh, that's very close. After that shot through mid wicket, there is a change in field. Man at mid off was brought back inside the circle and long on has been pushed back. Very interesting length that. Back to back boundaries and then interesting dot ball. Might have been the off cutter. Dot to finish the over. 9 without a wicket after the first over. So Nimit into the attack, shot of length, and just scamper through for a single leg buys signal. And the field for Nimit is deep mid wicket and deep point in place, mid on mid off inside the 30-yard circle. So the first over, which was bowled, the seam position was pretty upright. And if you look at what Nimit is doing, he's holding the ball a little more cross seam, hitting on the seam, which is the reason why they're getting that sort of movement and the shot of length. Good bit of camera work by Satish. Look at that seam. He's now holding it upright and then eventually delivers it to hit it on the seam. They've just tapped it away to point for a single. So smart bit of bowling by Nimit to understand that full length balls are easier to hit through the line. As you saw in the first over, a couple of boundaries. It'll be very interesting to see what sort of length that he bowls to Manan, who's been especially very aggressive. 8 balls, 8 runs. Most of the lines have been pretty wide of off stump. Again, flicked away, but doesn't beat the man at square leg. The plan's pretty clear to bowl short of length, hold the ball on its seam and let the ball do the talking. Unlike the previous over where they were searching for some seam movement or swing. If you look at the bowling action of Nimit, pretty short run up, just a couple of yards. Look at the jump, bowling it pretty much behind the stumps. Maybe a wide. But it's been smart sort of length that Nimit is operating with. Which is why the batters have not been able to get underneath that one. Again, smart length. Just get a single as Jairaj gets off the mark. Smart bit of bowling. Not not searching for enough movement. Just keeping it very simple. Final ball of Nimit's over. Gone! Gets the wicket. And as I was talking about, he's given nothing away and gets the reward immediately in his first over. Take another look at that wicket here. Wanted to take the aerial route, doesn't get any connection, and straight to the man at mid-off, comfortably held. Shimmied down the wicket a couple of steps, but doesn't get enough timing on that one. The first wicket down, and Nimit gets a much-deserved breakthrough. 13 for 1 after 2 overs. So Jay walks out to the middle after that wicket of the last ball of the previous over. As I've been talking about, it has been exceptional length by the bowler, and Nishant needs to be. Oh, a swing and a miss. is exceptional length by Nimit, and Nishant is actually mimicking Nimit now. Pulled his length back, not giving away anything. And if you look at the field, it's long on and deep point in place. And very interesting stance from Jairaj here, standing outside leg stump, stuck it away to square leg for a single. So they've understood the plans here to pull the length back and not give anything away to both these batters. And not be too silly giving out driving balls. Be very interesting to see if they add a slip sometime, because the extra bounce might get the batters trapped. Again, they're getting a sort of movement, so they're holding the seam towards the right and then eventually pointing it towards the left, which means they'll get some inward movement after hitting the seam. There you see the extra bounce. As I was talking about, they might consider adding a slip here because the length has been absolutely spot on. They had absolutely no clue of the length. They're getting that extra zip because of the seam. They're hitting the seam very hard. The newish ball. Down the track. And just a single. So good work by Nishant to actually back up Nimit's previous over. Again, I was talking about holding the seam upright and try and hit the deck hard on that seam so that it surprises the batters and forces them to do something extraordinary to get the runs. Again, extra bounce. Oh, chance of a run out here. Oh dear. Take another look at that extra bounce after hitting the seam. Hit him on the glove, and there was absolutely no single on offer. Would have made it home eventually. What a fabulous over. Just a couple of runs from it, 15 for 1. So Nimit continues his good work, backed up by Nishant in the previous over. Very, very sensible bowling and excellent field setting as well. Deep point and deep mid wicket. Who's out of his run up. Last moment. Has been smart work by the captain. Sahil on the field. Oh, full length. It's that 5 to 7 meter length that has been troubling the batters. He's not as quick as Nishant was in the previous over, so not getting that extra zip after hitting the seam. He's been troubling the batters with that length. Again, not giving away anything. Oh, what's a single? Direct hit! Oh, at the batter's end would have been trouble. Take another look at that confusion. Second time in 4 deliveries. Good bit of footwork. Wanted a single down the middle. Would have been interesting at the keeper's end. What's all happening here? That smart bit of bowling has actually forced the batters to do something extraordinary to keep the strike rotating, which will give them wickets here. The OIS Tigers. So change of guard for the batter. He's now batting on leg stump and standing a bit more upright here, Jay. Again, extra bit of bounce, and that's beautifully timed through cover for 4. Does it get to the boundary? Yes, it does. Again, excellent bit of bowling, extra bounce, but he was standing upright and ready for it. Had enough timing on that one to get to the boundary for 4. Just a bit of pressure that's released in that shot. 3 dot balls and then a boundary as Jay finds his first. But I don't think the Tigers would mind this because they are making the batters play. Tries to take the aerial route. Direct hit would be interesting. Perhaps the man at mid-off was a little too deep for that. Still 5 of the overs so far. Pretty sedate start. Wonder if Nishant gets another over from the other end, partnering Nimit's good work. Extra bounce and beats the man. 5 of that over, 20 for 1 after 4 overs. So 20 for 1 after 4 overs. Nishant gets another over as anticipated. Take a look at the field. Long on and the point in place. As I was talking about in the previous over as well, they are holding the ball seam upright and trying to hit the seam on the deck around the 6-meter length, which is actually troubling the batters a lot. There again, extra bounce. Oh, would have been very interesting had they had a man at short mid-wicket. Immediate apology from the batter. I've been a little caught and bowled here. Again, if you look at the way he's holding the ball, pretty upright. Very interesting stance from Jairaj. In the air. And that's beaten the field. Won't have the legs to go for 4. But they come back for 3. Just that full length. And beautifully found the gap. 3 runs added to the total. And they're enforcing that region here at extra cover. So change in field, deep point comes in and mid-off goes back to long off. Look at the way he's holding the ball. There you go, pretty upright seam. And now the way he delivers, the extra bounce just misses the stumps. Take another look at that. The way he delivers the ball, hits the seam, tries to take the aerial route but doesn't connect. Missed the off stump by a bit as the hands on his head. The extra bounce actually saved the batter here because they are hitting the seam upright directly on the pitch. And a newish ball which is just 4.5 overs old. Again, the bounce. This time stayed a little low. Excellent bit of length that's being operated with by the two new ball bowlers, Nishant and Nimit. Full length and misses out on that one. Does Jay could have put it anywhere on the ground. Was a little too early on that shot. These two haven't been able to break free in the power play. Still just 5 runs off the over so far, 5 runs of the previous over as well. And now they're pushing the man at short third a little more finer. Look at the stance of Jairaj. He's batting, his feet is pointing towards mid on, and he's batting with an open stance here. Again, extra bounce. Man at backward point, direct hit. Nope. 6 came of that one, 26 for 1 after 5 overs. Final over of the power play, and Nimit gets his third over as well. Again, I've been here talking like a broken record. Exceptional length and awareness of the seam bowling. You might not see a lot of movement off the air or off the surface, but the way that correction has been made after the first over, after being hit for a couple of boundaries, 9 runs came off the very first over. They've corrected beautifully here. Again, extra bounce, and that allows them to come back for a single. Wanted the second run, but doesn't get any. If you look at the field, deep point and deep mid wicket. Deep mid wicket is now being pushed in, and long on is being sent back. If you look at the length again, the way he's holding the seam. Oh, extra bounce. That's been parried away for 4. One bounce given for the over. Look at it. Take another look at that one. Short of length. Bounced a bit more because they are hitting the seam upright, and he's pulled the length back. Surprised the batter with the bounce. Oh, swing and a miss. Take another look at that ball. Short of length, leg lined. Got a hint of seam movement off the surface. And and it's just been parried away for 4. So 5 runs off the over so far. Been a pretty sedate power play. In the air, just over the man at extra cover. Let have the legs to go for 4. Nope, the man at deep point just covers up. So last over of the power play, they're getting a bit more push through here. Still 7 runs. Final ball off the power play left. Still 7 runs came off this over. But what's been exceptional is the way that they've been holding the seam. Back of length, not giving away anything to the batters in front to drive. Again, back of length. Scamper through for a leg by to finish the power play. 34 for 1. End of a superb seam bowling display. 34 for 1 after 6 overs. Thirty-four for 1 after 6 overs, and the power play restrictions lifted. Deep point, deep mid wicket, long on, long off, and deep extra cover in place. No one behind square on the leg side. You can see a man right next to the square leg umpire. Nimit comes on to bowl his final over. No, beg your pardon, Nishant comes on to bowl his final over. So 40 for 1 after 7 overs, 6 singles came of that one. Nishant ends with a fabulous spell. 1 for 23 of his 4 overs. What has been an exceptional display of seam bowling. New ball bowling. It's not very easy when it comes to new ball bowling because, as we've been talking about, holding the seam upright and hitting it is not very easy. As a fast bowler, you should have that sort of practice to actually hit the deck consistently hard, especially for Sahil, beg your pardon, especially for Nishant, because he's naturally a full length bowler. But after you watch Nimit get that extra bounce, he actually corrected himself. So full marks to Nishant for adopting to a better length, which is why they were able to restrict them to 34 for 1 after the power play and then give away only 6 singles. So bowling to your field and sticking to the right length is not an easy art. So whoever is watching this video or the stream, you have to realize that how you can correct your lengths if it has gone wrong, as cricket gives you multiple chances to do that. Especially if you're a new ball bowler, it gives you enough more chances because your team trusts you. You have more opportunities to create a dent. Even if you don't pick up a wicket, an economy rate of over 5 runs an over in a T20 game is exceptional in these days. So Sahil comes on to bowl for signs of spin. We're getting to see here, getting a hint of turn. It's nicely tucked away through square leg. Oh, chance of a run out. Nope. Very late call to actually come back for the second run. So they're operating with a slip in place. Deep point, long on, long off, deep square leg, and deep mid wicket. Oh, hint of turn. Excellent take by Vicky behind the stumps. In some good bowling this. Turn and miss. Again a hint of turn. So full marks to Sahil as well for correcting his length and line after the first ball. Oh, extra bounce. Stepped away to point for a single. Once the second run. There's been a lot of miscommunication between these two batters. Running between the wickets has not been very great, but their thinking has been right to just not lose too many wickets in cluster. Credit to that good bit of bowling in the power play. Oh, that's zipped through. Quicker delivery and extra bounce. Surprised Jay a bit there. 17 of 20 balls. Jairaj 13 of 17 balls. Oh, play and a miss again. Dot to finish 3 of that one. 43 for 1 after 8 overs. So 43 for 1 after 8 overs. And spin to continue. This time without a slip. It's 3 runs off the previous over from Sahil. So Abhishek comes on to bowl. No one at square leg. There's a man at deep fine. In fact, he's bowling medium pace and not spin. Man at deep fine leg, deep mid wicket, long on, long off, and deep point. Ooh, swing and a miss again. This has been some smart bit of bowling. It's now change in field. Fine leg comes in and there's a man at deep square leg. Goes for the hoik and just wide of the man who's been just put at square leg for 4. That is smart bit of batting from Jairaj. Short of length on middle stump and just picked away to square leg. In fact, I think the fielder at square leg was a little too fine. Would have got there had he been at his usual position. Nicely punched away through extra cover for a single. In the air, just wide of Shara at that point. And a couple of runs to bring up the 50 on board. For 1 after 8.5 overs. 7 runs off the over so far. And it will be 7 dot to finish. 50 for 1. Take another look at the boundary. The man at square leg had been just moved on the middle stump. And just one bounce into the boundary ropes for 4. 50 for 1. Sahil continues. Ooh, that's again a hoik down the wrong line. Opting for the slip in place. Take another look. Standing on leg stump and trying to hoik away the ball at middle stump towards leg stump. Again into the leg side, this time slightly fuller. Sits up and just timed away beautifully through square leg for 4. So a couple of boundaries in the previous 10 balls, 8 balls, beg your pardon. Takes the aerial route and clears the fence. In fact, hits the floodlights for 6. Full length ball on leg stump, and that's just picked away beautifully through mid wicket for 6. 17 runs off the last 9 balls, and Jairaj is getting a bit of momentum here. Take another look at that shot. Just erring on length, over pitched, and clears his front leg beautifully to whack that away for 6. So 15 came off that over. 65 for 1 after 10 overs, and everyone will take a drinks break. So 65 for 1 after 10 overs. Change of ends as we switch the ends for the remaining 10 overs. And we take a look at the field. Long on, long off, deep point, deep mid wicket. And deep square leg. Takes the aerial route and clears the man at long on quite comfortably for 6. What a shot that is. Beautifully picked away and finds the gap again for 4. Full on length, and it's been just picked away. Back to back boundaries. Leads the men long on and mid wicket. So Jairaj getting a move on here. 10 runs so far. Oh, up in the air. Will that be taken? Has not gone long enough. Just falls short of man at mid wicket. As they scamper through for a couple of runs. Stoppage. Pulled his length back, Abhishek. Bit of extra bounce, but take a look at that 6. Comfortable enough. 12 runs off the 3 balls. He's turning it on here, Jairaj. Oh, takes the aerial route. Just bounces in front. Chance of a run out. Ooh, direct hit would have been interesting. 14 of the over so far. 4 balls done. So Jairaj has decided to go aggressive route, especially targeting Abhishek. Goes again. A man at mid wicket. Does well. Excellent work in the deep. Saved 3 runs for his team here. So 15 of the over so far. What will Jay do here? Same sort of field. Ooh, extra bounce. Chance of a run out? Nope. Dot to finish. 15 came of that one. 80 for 1 after 11 overs. So 80 for 1 and change in bowling. Manav comes on to bowl. And he's operating with a similar sort of field. Deep point, long on, long off, deep mid wicket. And deep square leg. Takes the aerial route. And that's been taken at long on. So Jairaj falls after 15 run over previously, as Manav with the golden arm picks up a wicket off his first ball. He's distraught, Jairaj. Take another look. Think that's the carom ball on the off stump. Didn't get enough timing on that one, and safe pair of hands. Good catch, trudging back at long on, and they're delighted. The Tigers. 80 for 2. So 80 for 2, Abhishek walks out to the middle. Look at the keeper go. Oh, that's shout for LBW. Probably heading down the leg side. Excellent work behind the stumps by the keeper. I think there's an inside edge. Yep. Given as runs. Yeah, thickish inside edge would have actually crashed onto the leg stump had it not taken the inside edge. So he's turning it on, Manav. Supremos threw a punch last over, and Manav has actually punched back for Tigers here. In the air, Oh, tough chance. Think that's Sharad at point. Excellent dive by Jay to get off strike. Shot of length, quicker through the surface, in and out. In fact, was an incredible chance of run out had it been cleanly picked up. Taking the stumps on his way, does Jay. It's all happening here in Manav's over. In the air again and finds the gap. Just down to the point for a single. Jay holds the key. He's the set batter, 24 of 27. That'll be a wide. Pretty poor line on that delivery. Oh, that'll be a wide again. Bowling wide of the crease, and I think he's trying to target the middle stump. Given Jay is standing on a leg stump guard, I think the plan's to york him. Oh, thickish outside edge, and that's just gone past the keeper. Tough chance. Vicky behind the stumps. 6 despite that couple of wides. These are tough chances to take standing up to the stumps. And they're actually enticing the batters, leaving a lot of gaps square on the offside. Ooh, that one doesn't bounce. Very interesting over. 6 and a wicket. 86 for 2 after 12 overs. So change in bowling. After that over from Abhishek, Sharad comes on to bowl. He's bowling a little bit of spin and medium pace. Keeper is back. Oh dear. I think Abhishek was a little slow to start on the single. Eventually makes it. Had the keeper been up to the stumps, would have been a very interesting call. Take a look at the field. Long off. Deep point. Deep mid wicket. And deep square leg. Long on as well in place. Ooh, that's just bounced enough. And he's standing in disbelief here. Has a wry smile on his face. Plus Sharad. Very interesting delivery that didn't bounce a lot. Staying a bit up and down. Chance at a non-striker's end. Direct hit. Oh, that's a good shout. But the umpire is not interested. Given as leg byes. Bullseye. Full marks to Sharad to pick up that throw and fire it right onto the non-striker. Again, Abhishek was a little late on the run. Needs to buckle up here. Swing and a miss. Wanted to play the late cut through square on the offside. Oh, that's nicely played. And finds the gap beautifully. Full length ball on off stump. On middle stump rather. And that's gone to the boundary. Gave himself a bit of room. Did Abhishek to find his first boundary. Still 93 for 2, 12.5 overs. You'd argue. It's been a pretty balanced 13 overs in the phase. So final ball of Sharad's first over. Down to long off for a single to finish. 7 came off that one, 93. In fact, 8 came off that one, including a leg by 94 for 2. So 93 for 2, 94 for 2, and Manav continues. Good work in the previous over, 1 for 6. Full toss, the man at long off. Takes the catch finally. Does Sharad holds on to one. And they're delighted as Manav picks up his second wicket. Excellent low catch that was dying down on him. Again, full length ball on middle stump. In fact, off stump. And a good bit of catching. Had to judge it perfectly. Third wicket down. Abhishek walks back. 94 for 3. So 94 for 3. Rahul comes out to bat. Second wicket for Manav. Who would have been the third one? Drives that ball on middle stump to extra cover to get off the mark. Does Jay. Back on strike, not been able to find a lot of boundaries in the previous overs. Holds the key here for the Supremos. Play and a miss. Played down the wrong line again. Getting a hint of turn here, Manav. Take another look at that. Played down the wrong line. Wanted to hoik it through off stump. Oh, that's missed the off stump again. And he's strolling around the pitch here. Had absolutely no clue of that one. And a good bit of work by Vicky behind the sticks. Down the track. And finds the gap. Beats long off quite comfortably. Finally connects one, turns this into a full toss, and sweetly timed to beat the man at long off for 4. He's been itching to get that boundary and finally connects one. That's missed everyone. Will be given as buys. It's 100 on the board, 6 and a wicket. 100 for 3, 6 overs left in the inning. Shutout continues. Jay just scampers down to backward point for a single. As you take a look at the field, there's a big gap between extra cover and long off. Man at deep point wants the second run. Not happy. Was a little late on the ball here, the man at deep point. And the keeper is not happy. It wasn't a couple of runs as per his thought process. There's a ring on the offside square of the wicket. Has he found the gap on deep mid wicket? Yes, he has. Turns that into a gentle full toss. And sweetly timed through mid wicket for 4. As Rahul gets his first boundary. Seven runs have come off the first 3 balls. Very nicely bowled. They want the second run again. He's quick on the ball this time. So the field is a little more conventional this time. As you look at the 4, gentle full toss, no one at mid wicket, and they'll always find the boundary. So there's no one at mid wicket, there is a deep extra cover. So the 5 fielders outside are deep point, deep extra cover, long off, long on. He found the gap. Yes, he has. Does he have the legs to go for 4? Nope. Good bit of footwork from the man at short third as they scamper through for 3 runs. Nicely cut away off the length. In fact, there are 4 fielders on the offside. Deep point, deep cover, deep extra cover, and long off alongside a long on the solo man at square leg. In fact, on leg side, beg your pardon. So a single to finish that over. 12 came off that one. 1-1-2 for 3 out of 15 overs. So 1-1-2 for 3. Manav continues in the air for a bit. Straight to the man at deep point, and this time field is a lot more conventional for Manav. Deep mid wicket, long on, long off, deep point, and now the man at deep mid wicket comes inside, and the man at extra cover goes out to deep extra cover. They're making him drive, I think. It's a big gap between short third and backward point. Anything short would be punished. That's nicely bowled. Wanted to dab it late, but misses that one, does Jay. Quicker through the air, full. Got a bit of tail in on that one. Think would have been bowled a bit of seam up. Oh, turn and bounce. Squares him up as the foot went nowhere close to the ball. That's just terrific bowling. Just a single down to man at backward point. So after the power play, they've scored 78 runs for the loss of 2 wickets. 34 for 1 to 112 for 3. 78 for 2, not a bad phase. Tries to take the aerial route and just on the bounce to the man at long on. So you can see long on, deep mid wicket and deep square leg. In fact, there's no one at square leg. Now the deep mid wicket comes in and the man at extra cover has been pushed back. Just a few yards inside the boundary ropes. Again, short of length through the offside. So deep point, long off, long on, deep mid wicket. No one down at square leg. End of the over, 4 singles came of that one. 116 for 3-4 overs remain in the innings. So 116 for 3, Sahil comes on to bowl. I think he'd finish his spell here bowling the 17th and the 19th. Deep mid wicket, long on, long off, deep cover. And deep point in place. In fact, deep mid wicket comes inside the circle. And that's exactly where he hits it. There is a man at cow corner but splits the gap beautifully. And now the field changes. As the man at cow corner has been now pushed to mid wicket. And there is a man at kind of mid wicket inside the 30-yard circle to stop that shot. Slow through the air, Stepped away to backward point for a single. Predominantly leg side field. So the cover comes in, and down the track, and that's good work by the man at long on. Keeps it down to a couple of runs. Good bit of camera work as well to follow the ball. So Rahul trying his best to attack Sahil, and another change in field. Now they're pushing the man at mid wicket back to cow corner, and there's a deep mid wicket, cow corner, and long on is being pushed a little more finer to his left. So three men on the leg side for that shot. That's exactly where he hits it. Wants a second run, chance of a run out. All well and all safe in the end. Couple of runs. 9 of the over so far. Very interesting field to have a cow corner out. Well, that's missed everything. Given his buys, how on earth did that miss the stumps? Asking for a wide, but the umpire says you've moved quite a lot to off stump. Given as buys. So 10 runs of the over so far, including that buy. Slowly gaining a bit of momentum here. Given as wide. Oh dear, this single was not on. Gone. I think that was needless here. Jay walks back, in fact runs back from the non-strikers end to the dressing room. Sahil had just a couple of stumps to aim at. Even as wides. Rahul wanted the strike badly. Good take by Vicky behind the stumps. Throws it to the bowler. Just spun a bit on Sahil. And easy as you like. Takes the leg stump out of the ground and given out on field. Good awareness as Jay appreciates Rahul. 41 he made, fourth wicket down. 427. So Navratan walks to the middle after that bizarre run out, I'd say. 127 for 4. Off the mark with that single off the last ball. 11 came off that over. And a run out. 128 for 4. One two eight for 4. 12 came off that previous over, including that bye that was conceded. Manav is on for his final over of his spell. Oh, that's a full toss. They're given out. No ball given as out. I'm very sure here. Down the track. Oh! Missed the stumping, I think, here, the keeper. Take another look at that one. Oh no, it's not given as out on field. Given as a dot ball here. Tapped away to log on for a single. Not very sure what happened there in the first ball of this over. Two for 16 for Manav. Been an incredible spell so far. Down the track should be another wicket. Nope. Oh, that'll be a run out. Yep. Eventually gets a wicket, but he doesn't add it to his tally. Thinks that's Rahul. He's been given out. Is it? Nope. Yes, I think it's Rahul given out. Not sure if the single was on there. Good bit of fielding by Puneet down at long on. And simple bit of decision. Rahul, who ran out Jay previous over, perishes now thanks to poor bit of calling between the two batters. So the fifth wicket down, 130 for 5. So 130 for 5. Varun walks out to the middle. A run and a run out. Swept away but doesn't beat the man at 45. As he's off the mark, Varun. 130 is on the board. They were at the 15 over mark. 112 for 3. 19 runs and a couple of wickets in 2.4 overs. A little bit of a collapse. Wonder what's in store for the next couple of overs here. Stepped away to deep extra cover for a single. 132 for 5. So final ball of Manav's spell. Won the second run. Won't get it. So 2 for 20. Finishes off with an incredible figures. And a run out as well. So 2 for 20 for Manav. 133 for 5. 12 balls left in the innings. So Sahil on for his last over, the previous over. Went for 12 runs. Oh, chance of another run out, but he's taken off the bails with his pads. Falls off on the throw, and they have a laugh about that one. He's been exceptional behind the stumps, does Vicky. Take another look at that hilarious moment here. Good bit of fielding by Varun Chi, I think it is. Yeah, took the bails off his pads and he's down on the ground. Everyone has a laugh about that one. Couple of runs to start the over, play and a miss. 19th over. Want to one settle batter at least to take this score past 150, 160 mark. 78 for 2 on the track. Won't get more than a single here. The throwing has been a little wayward from the Tigers, but they have got the runouts from time to time, which has helped the cause of keeping the run flow down. 34 for 1 in the power play, 236 for 5. Ooh, it's getting a bit of turn here. Say, probably 102 for 4 in about 12.4 overs. Reverse sweep. Good bit of take by the keeper. Good bit of work behind the stumps. Take another look. Reverse sweep, extra bounce. Feet was in the air for a bit, but all fine. Results in a dot ball. Final over, final ball in fact, of Sahil's spell. Now the track, and that should be easy as you like. Gets a wicket off his final ball of the spell, 1 for 32. 136 for 6, and GNS Supremos actually lost their way a bit in this innings. Take another look at the middle stump, hint of turn, and easy as you like for Vicky. Be delighted. Not so much for the batter. 136 for 6, 1 over left in the inning. So 136 for 6, final over of the innings, and Nimit, who in my opinion has been the best bowlers after Manav. Obviously his figures read as 2 for 20, but I think Nimit set the tone with the ball in the power play, hitting that seam brilliantly, and I think he'll continue doing that. 136 for 6, you don't want to give out 14, 15 runs and take the total past 150 mark. So 136 for 6. Final 6 balls of the innings, and keeper is up to the stumps. Take a look at the field. Deep point, deep mid wicket, long on, long off. Third man's being pulled inside. No one at fine leg on 45. That'll be a wide. Starts off with a wide here. Oh, that's through, long off for 4. Nicely sat up, back of length, punched away, and through, long off for 4. Extra bounce. Want the second run. They won't get it. One for 2 for 6. 108 for 5. 13.12 overs. Straight as an arrow. The man at long off will cut it off. Oh, that spins in front of him for 4. Second boundary in that area. On middle stump. Nicely punched away. Should have been 1 run, but he's overrun on that one. I think that's shuttered down and long off. He's not very happy with himself here. So a couple of boundaries. 10 runs off the over so far. Talking about finishing it on a high note. Play and a miss. They want the bye, but they won't get it. Still 116 runs. Rather 112 runs. Play and a miss, and the keeper is up to the stumps now. So final ball of the innings. 1 for 6 for 6. 112 for 1. Ratan has a little word with Aditya here. Final ball. Oh, almost chopped on. Won the second run. And they won't get it. So finishes off with a single. Nimit finishes with 1 for 26 of his 4 overs. 11 runs. Came off that one. 147 for 6. The Supremos finish at. And the OIS Tigers need 148 runs to win of the allocated 20 overs. Join us after a short break for this chase. See you right on the other side. Welcome back for the chase. The OI's Tigers need 148 runs of the allocated 20 overs. Vicky and Abhishek open the batting and Vishal opens the bowling for the Supremos. 148 to win of the allocated 20 overs, 7.4 runs required in an over. Left arm seam. Ooh, gets a bit of movement. Look at the field, deep mid wicket and long on in operation. To fielders outside the 30-yard circle. No one at behind square on the leg side, and there's a huge gap between extra cover and point on the offside, and exactly finds the gap. Just get a single. Good chase by the man at point. Got a hand to that one. So Supremos were 34 for 1 in their power play. Very important for the Supremos to just learn from what the Tigers did. Look at the way he's holding his seam. Pitches it up. Doesn't find any movement. So what Nimit and Nishant did beautifully in the opening overs in the first innings was to actually hit the seam a lot. With the keeper up to the stumps, the bowler has no choice but to actually bowl it a lot more fuller and allow it to move. I think they will correct that. They will have to correct that on this sort of wicket. Nice little off cutter on that occasion. They have no option but to correct that. Length will be the key in this chase. If they err too much, pitch it up a lot, might prove a lot more costly than anticipated. 147 on the board. You can't afford a lot of errors. That's missed everyone. And they scamper across for a single, even as leg buys. So final ball of the first over. 2 without a wicket. Again, back of length. Wants a single but doesn't get it. Good work to finish the over. Single and a leg by. 2 without a wicket after the first over. So 2 for no loss after the first over. And Pradeep comes on to bowl. Similar sort of field. That's a better length. And if you talk about the team working behind the stream, Satish handling the camera work. Scorer is Harsh, operated by Fayaz and myself, Pranav, bring the game to you live from the Fatima grounds. This is the Dad's Premier League, season 25-26. That's flicked away fine for 4. As I was talking about, anything full will actually help the batters on this sort of wicket. Beautiful shot to bring out his first boundary for Vicky, and the chase. 5 runs of the over already. Very important to actually hit the seam and keep on hitting the seam as Nimit and Nishant did it for the Tigers in the first 10 overs. In fact, in the first 8 overs, beg your pardon. Gone. Boundary and a wicket. As I was talking about that length, pulled it back beautifully, and Pradeep picks up his first wicket. And the Tigers lose their first. Vicky walks back. Couldn't get any timing on that one. Let's take another look at the wicket. Pulled his length back. No timing, cramped up for room, and a simple catch to the man at backward square leg. First wicket down. 7 for 1. 7 for 1, and the man who had a fabulous day with the ball, Manav, comes out to the middle at number 3. In the air, just falls short. For a moment, Manav would have had his heart in his mouth. Not ideal if you get a golden duck. Chasing 148. Nicely tucked away to deep mid wicket to get off the mark. As Manav, as I've been talking about, getting the length is the key. And pull that fuller. Was hit for a boundary, then immediately realized it to pull it back and gets the reward. So now a change in field. The man at 45 moves to backward square leg, and there's a catching mid wicket in place. Final ball of Pradeep's first over. That'll be a wide. The bowler's not happy with that decision, but that'll be a wide eventually. Supremos had scored 9 in the power play first over. 9 for no loss. Flicked away, and no one at fine leg. I'll run down to the boundary. Pretty straight line. Came across to the off stump and beautifully flicked it off for 4. Take a look. Yep, flicked it off the middle stump for 4. 13 for 1 after 2 overs. So Vishal continues. None for one. Just gave a solitary single. Still operating with long on and deep mid wicket. There's a ring on the offside. And the keeper's up to the stumps. Very close to the stumps, in fact. So here we go. Left arm pace. Nicely pulled his length back. So he's learned from his first over. Good throw. Shy at the non-striker's end. Quick single. Vishal was a little more fuller in his first over, trying to find the movement, just like Nishant for the Tigers, but eventually corrects it, pull the length back and not give away anything for the bowlers or the batters to work away with. Quick single, striker's end, direct hit. The umpire is not interested. Direct hit or a flick by the keeper. All safe in the end for the batters. Nicely punched away to backward point. Good bit of cricket all around. Very quick single. Mana was running at the danger end. Nicely flicked away and a good easy decision for the umpire. Say not out. Look at the way he's holding the seam here. Good bit of camera work by Satish. He's holding it very upright and just hitting the deck hard. It's what the two new ball bowlers did for the Tigers. Take a look. Yep, hits the deck. And nicely tickled away to short fine for a single. At 5 to 7 meter length, that's where you have to be as a fast bowler in this pitch. If you offer any sort of over pitch or something to work for the batters to get underneath, you will be punished. And on top of that, the line has to be pretty straight. If it's short and wide or a lot more through the leg stump, again you'll be punished. Very little room for error. Again, back of a length, hits the seam and gets that extra bit of bounce. That's what you have to do as a fast bowler. You have to be on your mark on this pitch. Any error, you'll be dispatched, especially in the power play. 16 for 1 so far. That's the line you have to be. Even if it's fuller, you can't be a lot fuller because the batsman will then drive you over your head. And you don't like that as a bowler. And not ideal when you're defending 147. So a couple of, in fact, 3 dots to finish the over, 3 singles. 16 for 1 after 3 overs. So Pradeep continues. Look at the way he's holding the seam here. Very, very upright. Not giving away anything to the batters to deal with in terms of movement because there's nothing on offer through the air. Again, similar sort of field, long on and deep mid wicket in play. Again, short of length. Absolutely nothing to work away for the batters. Not even the singles are coming easy at the moment. Both Manav and Abhishek. Abhishek has got a boundary of Pradeep's previous over's last ball that was flicked away to fine leg for 4. There's been not much on offer apart from that, from these two new ball bowlers. Again hits the seam. Just a single. A bit of plans. Leading edge. Oh, shy at the striker's end. Not sure if we have had a shy at the non-striker's end. 18 for one, couple of singles in this over. Look where the keeper is, very close to the stumps. Moves away towards the leg side. Mana wanted the single but doesn't get it. Good call by Abhishek to deny the single. Just a couple of runs so far. It's been smart bit of bowling from these two bowlers. Been talking through the point that if to be on that 5 to 7 meter length, tucked away to long on for a single to finish. Three came off that. 19 for one after 4 overs. So Varun comes on to bowl. Again, similar sort of field. Quicker delivery and doesn't find the gap through backward point. Fielder has a little smile after collecting that ball. Oh, beautifully finds the gap. That is some serious split work, if you like. Third run, and they do make it. Good call by Manav to come back for the third run. Beautifully found the gap. Laid that very, very late. Still the same field, deep mid wicket and long on in operation. Big gap between extra cover and point. Now the man at extra cover pushes to cover. Big gap between mid off and extra cover now. Comes a few yards inside on the catching position. Catching cover in place. Again, platter delivery by Varun. So if you look at the way Varun's holding the seam, he's actually holding it like an off spinner, which he is obviously, but the way he's darting it in, he actually twisting the seam right at the end. Short his delivery and gets a single. He's Although he's bowling it flatter, the idea is to actually bowl it a lot more straighter. So if he's actually holding the seam the way he is, then it'll hit the seam and go the other way around. So you want the ball to be bowled like an in swinger. There you go. Whoa, that's gone. Given out on field, and the batter's distraught here. Has to walk back. Have another look at that one. Again, as I was talking about, middle stump delivery, quick single, takes the bails off in a flash. And up goes the umpire's finger. Second wicket down, and the Supremos are delighted, courtesy of some good work by Manan Gandhi behind the stumps. Yeah, nowhere in the fray. Short of crease, and excellent call on field as Abhishek walks back. 4 and a wicket, 23 for 2 after 5 overs. It's 23 for 2, 5 overs done. Supremos have been brilliant. Final over off the power play, 23 for 2. Varun walks out to the middle as Manav takes guard to face Pradeep. Full length ball, and that's driven through point for 4. That's a gentle gift. Beautiful camera angle. Just sat down on one knee and beautifully finds the gap through point. 27 for 2 now. 34 for 1, the Supremos in the power play. Lost a wicket extra here, the Tigers. Again, look at the way Pradeep is holding the seam here. As I was talking about, if you bowl anything fuller, you will be dispatched. Little confusion between the two batters, but all safe in the end. The first ball was a lot more fuller. That's been carved away for 4, but the next ball he's pulled his length back, and it's very difficult for the batters to hit it through the line. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Just beats the man for 4. Played that late and beats the man at backward point for 4. So couple of boundaries in this over. And Manav getting a bit of a move on here. Big shout. The umpires actually signal that down the leg stump. Half tracker doesn't have the length to work with. That's exactly the way that it should be. Lovely cover drive to finish the power play. Three boundaries in the over, 35 for two. Overpitched and easy as you like for Manav to just go through the gap. 35 for two. 35 for two. Manav, three boundaries in a row. Varun on strike to Varun with the ball. Varun G versus Varun S. Yet to face a ball, just faced a ball. As power play is done, there are more fielders outside the circle. Deep point, long off, long on, deep square leg, and deep mid wicket. Five fielders outside the 30-yard circle. And Varun G is off the mark. So three singles of the four balls. Manav 21, Varun G 2. So Supremos 34 for 1 of 6 overs. The Tigers 35 for 2. Not a lot of difference. Only difference being that they lost an extra wicket thanks to that run out. So final ball of Varun's over. Ooh, that's beautifully bowled. Plain a miss to finish that one. 28 for 2. Beautifully bowled dip. Oh, I think the keeper didn't collect that cleanly. Everyone has their hands on their heads. 38 for 2. 38 for 2. Aditya comes on to bowl. More spin now. And similar sort of field. In fact, change in field now. Deep mid wicket comes inside the circle. And they've sent third man back. Bit of medium pace by Aditya. That'll be a wide. The idea is right, but got his line wrong here. Idea is to not bowl a lot of short balls, but also not feed a lot to the batter. Very important to bear that in mind. Oh, very nicely bowled. That's missed the off stump. Getting a bit of seam movement here. Aditya. Oh dear, that's missed the off stump by some bit. Good take by Manan Gandhi behind the stumps. That'll be a wide again. Not far away from a tickle down the leg stump. Oh, excellent work again with behind the stumps. Been some serious keeping between the two sides, Vicky and Manan behind the stumps. Big shot. Gone. Aditya picks up his first wicket and they are delighted. The Supremos. Third wicket down as Varun Perish is trying to take the aerial route. Not enough timing on that one. Wide delivery, doesn't get anywhere to the pitch of the ball and slices it down to long off, getting a simple catch. And they're delighted to pick up the third wicket. 41 for 3. So 41 for 3 as Sharath walks out to bat. Some sort of trouble here. 41 for 3, you need some sort of consolidation. 3 wides and a wicket to Aditya. Just 2 balls done in this over. Do you believe that? Short of length, doesn't beat the man at extra cover. That's where you need to be as a bowler. And if you talk about the scoring, Manav has scored the bulk of the runs, 21 of 21. Rest of the two batters have just contributed 20, out of which the opener actually contributed more. It's flicked away, and the man at deep square leg has a bit of clean-up job to do. Not good running between the wickets. Should have been a couple of runs. Sharad is off the mark. They need a partnership here. One partnership will sail them through. 106 off 12.2 run rate. Getting closer to 9 runs and over. Again flicked away. Deep square leg. On a deep mid wicket. You have a third man in operation for that cut shot. Couple of wides, a wicket, two singles as well. Still 5 runs of 5 balls and a wicket. Sharad might score a boundary and get to this 9 runs. Nope. Scampers through for a single to finish. 6 and a wicket. 44 for 3. Will be called a wide. Varun's actually pleading with the bowler. Beg your pardon, umpire. Given as leg byes, in fact. Nicely flicked away. Couple of runs so far. 65 for 1. Nicely tapped away for a single. Oh dear! Just bounced awkwardly in front of the man at long off. Just took a very simple catch. That's how cricket is funny for you. 3 runs of the over so far. And I think that's where the Supremos did well. Cut away. There's a man at deep point. Like the orange shoes they're operating with here, the two men that I saw. Man at deep point and long off. A little different. As I was talking about Supremos, 31 for no loss after the power play. It's actually starting to help them here. Tucked away to long on for a single. $65 for 1 after 10 overs, the Supremos. Yeah, you'd argue that's probably given them a bit of an edge. The keeper very, very close to the stumps. That'll be a wide, gone through the keeper's legs as well. Just a single as well. And that's a 50 on the board. 7 runs, including that leg by so far. Dot to finish 51 for 3 after 9 overs. Aditya continues 1 for 6 of his previous over. Just nicely punched away to extra cover. And just like the Supremos, I think Jay was it scored a 40 odd. Manav holds the key. Nicely cut away. But the man at third man keeps it down to a single. Very interesting field. They have mid wicket inside and third man back. So knowing what sort of length that they have to operate with, they've kept that sort of field in operation. Good thinking by the captain. Vishal is on the field. That'll be a wide. Good bit of glove work. Would have been 5 wides had it not got a hand to it. Oh, he's alright here. Manan. Take another look at that glove work here. Pretty wayward down the leg side. Very much aware of his feet moving towards the ball. Oh, he's alright here. Yep, good to continue. They need a boundary from somewhere. Gets it. Gets it for 4 as Sharad gets his first boundary. That call pays off and he strikes a boundary through mid wicket for 4. Full on middle stump and just easily picked away. So the commentator's wish gets another 4 in fact. Nope. Oh, gets it. Couple of boundaries here. I think I should order or wish for a lottery here. Perhaps that would be granted. Couple of boundaries in this over. And they're getting a move on. 10 runs of the over so far. Might as well go and buy a lottery after this game. Couple of boundaries. Ooh, they wanted a wide but not given. Very interesting call. Not given as wide. Goes for the big hit. Just bounce for 4. Third boundary of the over. For sure, I'm buying a lottery after this game. Called for 1, got 3. So 65 for 3 after 10 overs, and everyone will take a drinks break. 65 for 3, pretty neck to neck. Supremos was 65 for 1, so the difference is actually 0 for 2. Lost 2 extra wickets, but that previous over, 13 runs, will actually give them a bit of momentum. Change of ends and change in bowling. Abhishek comes on to bowl a bit of off spin. Nice hard length to start with. He has a deep point, long on, long off, deep mid wicket. I think they have a deep mid wicket and deep square leg as well. Oh, should come back for a couple of runs. Yes, they do. So Sharad is getting a bit of a move on here, 18 of 12 balls. And exactly after the 10 over mark, they started going for a bit more runs. 47 for 2 for the Supremos, getting them to 112 for 3. Goes for the big hit and clears it comfortably enough for 6. Get a new ball if you like. Round the sticks on the off stump. And what a shot that is. Full power on that one and clears the ground quite comfortably enough onto the parking lot. It's always that risk of off spinner versus right-handed batters. 24 of 13 balls for Sharad. He's turning it on here. Might as well get that lottery very, very soon. Asked for 1 boundary, he's already produced 4. 24 of 13 balls, 9 runs. Now it's sensible enough batting to actually get a single. He exactly does that down to deep square leg. Pull his length back, does Abhishek. What a shot that was. Picked the length so early. The man with the jersey number 7 and a right-hander hitting a 6. Does that connect something somewhere? Do let us know in the comments. Look at the keeper again. Pretty close to the stumps. Cut away. Just a single. Big man, jersey number 7, blue pads on. You connect something? You do? Let us know in the comments. Hitting a 6. Down to deep mid wicket. I think the man still plays the IPL, if you like, for a hint. Shot of length and beautifully pierced the gap for 4. This is superb batting. He's actually giving us a reminiscence of what I was talking about a little while back. Blue pads on, full muscles, and thumped away to deep mid wicket for 4. 15 came off that one, 80 for 3. So Vishal comes on to bowl with a left arm seam. I think he's the captain as well. Yep. Keeper up to the stumps. I thinking wickets, not a bad idea. 2 overs, none for 4. Waited on that slow delivery. Good bit of footwork by the man at backward point. 15 runs off the previous over. 13 of the over before that. So 28 runs, 29 runs in fact of the last 13 balls. And the run rate's now suddenly under 8 runs. Touching 9 at one point. Now under 8. Thanks to that cameo from Sharad, who's still going very strong. Goes for the big hit. On the bounce to the man at long off. Got a lot of ground to cover. Again, the man with the orange shoes took a catch to get rid of Varun G. So what will Manav do here? Will he give the strike to Sharad or just play? No, he doesn't. In fact, that goes all the way for 6. What a shot. Slow ball. Picked it through the hand. And just beautifully driven down the ground for 6. What timing. I think I'll buy a couple of lotteries here. Just thinking about him getting a boundary. And he does. So 60 needed now from 8.5 overs. What a shot that is. Exquisite timing. Tickled away fine. And I'll run away for 4. Back-to-back boundaries. Just played it inside the line, middle stump delivery. And beautifully tickled away. 12 runs of the over so far, and in search of wickets, 12 runs have come. He's getting a move on here, Manav, after playing a bit of second fiddle. Gone! Perhaps a commentator's curse. Maybe. 4th wicket down as Manav walks back. 6-4 and a wicket, and the captain picks up his first wicket. Good take behind the stumps. Take another look at that one. Tries to late cut it, and a brilliant take. Standing up to the stumps. Not very easy. But a good innings by Manav comes to an end. 92. Take a look at what happened in the last 3 balls. Exquisite timing to get a 6. Then a nice little tickle down to fine leg for 4. And eventually perishes off. Trying to go for the cut through backward point. So Siddharth comes out and a dot to finish. 40 runs have come off the last 3 overs and a wicket. 92. Goes the aerial route and welcomes Pritesh with a maximum sharat. He's not going to stop on the off stump and just thumped away through mid wicket for 6. He's on a roll here, 98 for 4, just 50 needed of 7.5 overs as Pritesh comes on to bowl a bit more off spin. He's going around the stumps. Similar sort of field, deep point, long on, long off, deep mid wicket and deep square leg. Has to go for the big hit again, but takes a single. I think that'll be more sensible for them to do now. Just take that risk off the first ball of the over and then subtly play out the rest of the over. That'll get them down to 6. In fact, 10 runs, 11 runs. So Siddharth now, left-hander to an off-spinner. 72. Tickled away. And good footwork by the man at 45. Gets off the mark. Left-hander, jersey number 72. 100 on the board. 100 for 4. 100 for 4, you might say, it's a balanced game so far. A little short for LBW, but that's surely heading down the leg stump. That given off the pad, I think. Nope, given off the pad. 101 for 4 now. 47 required of 7.2. All of a sudden, the run rate's now down under 7 runs. So what can Siddharth do here? That'll be a wide. Oh, he's all right here, the keeper. 9 runs of the over. 10 runs, in fact, including that leg by. What can Siddharth do? Can he just give strike to Sharad, who's been playing really well? That'll be a wide again. Or he also joins the party with some big shots down to the off spinner, taking that myth away that off spinners have an upper hand to left handers. Oh, goes for the big shot. I think I really should focus on buying that lottery here. I've been asking for a big shot. Does go for it, but doesn't connect with anything. A good bit of work behind the stumps. Oh, thickish outside edge. Wants a single, but it's sent back. 10 runs came of that over. 103 for 4, 45 needed of 7 overs. So Aditya is back into the attack. 1 for 20 of his 2 overs. 103 for 4. 6.43 needed. The run rate 45 of 7 overs. Goes for the big whack. It's a single. In fact, couple of runs down to deep mid wicket. Run out. Oh, good running between the wickets. Aditya had bowled the ninth, 10th over. In fact, conceded 13 runs of that one. Which gave Sharad and the Tigers a bit of momentum. Oh, goes for the big hit. Misses that one and good bit of glove work. I have to appreciate what's been done behind the sticks by both these keepers, Vicky and Manan. Didn't take the feet off his ground. Very aware. Good bit of camera work as well. Cuts away and finds the gap that bounces awkwardly in front of the man at deep point. What a sound that made off the bat. Nicely rocked onto the back foot. I think he overran it. Yep. Happened with the man who's batting, Sharad as well. And he was fielding and bounced awkwardly in front of him. So 43 now to Sharad. Goes for the big hit. Couple of bounces to the man at mid wicket for a single. 7 runs of the over so far. Couple of balls still remaining. 110 for 438 required of 6.2. Run a ball now. 6 runs and over. Left-hander demands a change in field. Deep square leg comes in. Third man goes out. Gently pushed away. Giving a good hand here, Siddharth. Not looking very tentative. Very new at the crease. And if you've been throughout with us on the stream, you might have noticed a man with a DSLR roaming around the ground. That's no one but Ritwik with his camera work. Taking professional photographs for us. Find them on our social media handles. Jfsc in on Instagram. Goes for the big shot, gets a thickish inside edge, and it'll roll down to the backward square leg boundary for 4. 48 now for Sharad Kelkar. Thickish inside edge. Five. Boundary to finish. 115 for 4. 12 came off that one. So Vishal continues for his final over. 1 for 16, being hit for 12 runs in his previous over. 33 required now of 5.5 overs. Required rate under 6 now. Goes for the big shot. Man at mid wicket just falls short. And that goes through the gap for 4. On, off and middle, picked off the length. Ooh, that was at a catchable height, but good effort in the deep. So boundary of the second ball takes the target to under 30 runs. Nicely tapped away. They get nope, don't run for the second run. So 48 for Sharad. 48 not out of just 24 balls, batting at a strike rate of 200. Putting on a man of the match performance here. All clean hits, just one thickish inside edge. That nice clean defense. Hold the pose, gentlemen. Look at that pose. Hold that, freeze it there, and claim that one if you like. Oh, thickish outside edge. Wants the single, but is sent back. Direct hit, but he's safe and home. And everyone has a laugh about that one. Looking a bit itchy here for his 50. He's played really well. Final ball, 5 runs of the over so far. Beautifully played and beautifully bowled as well. 5 came of that one. 120 for 4 with 5 overs left. So 120 for 4, 5 overs left. Left-hander off spin, very much mandatory these days. At this stage, the Supremos were 112 for 3. Let's go. That's going down the leg stump. For a moment, I thought the umpire raised his finger, but he's actually pointing out towards the leg stump. And he's not happy, the bowler. Always, the bowlers are not happy with the umpire's decisions, and that's how DRS came into effect. Recently saw a clip of Kuldeep Yadav and Rohit Sharma having a bit of banter at Vizag. A leading edge, and they just scamper across for a single eventually. Just walks down. That's Sharad. Towards the batting end, he's batting on 48, been Waiting for quite some time now for his 50. 1-2-1 for 4. Warren continues. 1 for 14 of 3.5 overs. It's been an outstanding innings. 48 of 27, 180 odd strike rate. But also credit to the keeper as well. Doing exceptional behind the stumps. What a way! Has it gone all the way? No, it hasn't. But an incredible half century for Sharad Kelkar. And raises his bat in awe here. Round of applause from his dugout. 50 of 28 balls. Strike rate of 178. As we take goes for the big shot. Good bit of work by the man at long on, beg your pardon. "51 of 29. So 1-2-5 for 4, 1-6 for 4. And there's the moment that he got to his 50. Very happy after the previous match. Came down very late. I love his bat for that one. Player with number 7 scoring a 50 on a much needed occasion. And it's appreciated by one and all. In the man behind the stumps. In an excellent knock. 1-2-5 for 4, 23 needed of 4 overs. And all good credit to the cameraman, Satish. So a good bit of capture of that moment. And got to a half century. 51 of 29. Strike rate of around 150, 160. Rohit, in fact Romit, comes on to bowl and starts with a no ball. Long hop, and that's been punished away for 4. So 5 runs to start with, and it'll be a free hit as well. Thing that slipped off the hand, and immediately up goes the square leg umpire's hand. And the man at deep point had absolutely no chance. A bit of footwork, but to no rescue. Change of angle round the stumps. Deep mid wicket, deep square leg, long on, long off, and deep point, the 5-man outside. And the target is under 20 runs now, 18 needed of 4 overs. Back to over the stumps. They've been looking very comfortable, these two batters, especially Siddharth, not letting the guard away. Not playing any sort of loose shots. Not putting Sharad under pressure by playing a lot of dot balls in a sensible inning so far. That'll be a wide, and the free hit continues. Yep, Sharad mimics the umpire as well. Still the free hit continues. So 17 required of 4 overs. Here you go. player, he's a bowler, he's a batter, and also an umpire. Oh, goes for the big shot but doesn't connect. Connects with thin air and a dot ball. Finally, the first ball of the over is bowled. 6 runs have come. Batting outside leg stump now, so the change in guard. 13 of 14 balls, 2 boundaries in that innings. What a shot! Oh, that's gone all the way, I think. Yep. Down the track, just chipped and beautifully timed for 6. Bit of left-handed Robin Uthappa on that one. 11 runs required now. 12 of the over so far. So can they finish it in this over itself, or is it too much to ask as a commentator? Maybe if they do, I might seriously consider buying the lottery here. Goes for the big shot again, but has no timing on that one. Just gets a single down to long off. Try to disrupt the batter by moving around the crease. But saw him early. That was Romit. So I might just spoil his averages here, Romit. 12 of just 2 balls. 13 of 3 balls in fact. With that single down to long off. So 10 runs required, 3 balls left in this over, and then still 3 overs remaining. So can Sharad finish it off with a couple of boundaries here? There's one of those. No, yep, there's one of those. Leg line, clears his front leg and just thumps it through square leg. Fielder for a moment was interested, but just beats the man quite comfortably for 4. Just spun on him a bit. I think that's Abhishek down on square leg. Just one hit away. And the target's now down to a single digit. Can he hit a 6 and finish this? Will be very iconic if he can do that. Been referencing to a man who did that. Oh, tries for that, but excellent bowling. I will consider buying that lottery for sure. For those who are watching around. Wanted to go for the helicopter, but hasn't connect. He's distraught. The bowling. Final ball of this over. 17 runs have come off that one. One ball, 6 runs. Anyone up for this challenge? Wanted to go for the shot again, but just gets a single down to deep mid wicket. So 5 needed of 3 overs. 1-4-3. Five required. Here we go. There's one of those. Very wide. Aditya for his final over, which could be the final over of this innings if Sharad wishes to finish us off in style. 144 for 4, 145 for 4 with that wide. Goes for the big shot. On the bounce. In fact, beats the man for 4, and that's it. Seals the deal in style and brings out the celebration as the Tigers take the game by 6 wickets. As we take a look at the winning shot. Have a look. Full on middle stump, clears his front leg, whacks it away and beats the man at long on. Just bounced on him a bit too much. Diving effort in vain as the Tigers take the game by 6 wickets. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. It's Satish, Harsh, Fayaz and myself, Pranav, signing off from the Fatima grounds. Until the next time, take care and good night.